Join myself and King as remedy. Together we will devour the very core.
You guys, it's been a while. I have changed a couple of things on the audio track on my mic, so if it sounds weird to you guys, let me know in the comment section of the video once this is uploaded, and let me know if there's any, like, how should I say, screeches, or if there's some echoing, or if you hear any background sounds. Let me know as well to see if whether or not if I have fixed anything, so that in the future I can then adjust it better, because at this moment I won't duck my sound or my voice anymore from the game's audio. So just test things out and see whether or not if my mic sounds better this way, or if you guys like it before how it was, or that maybe in the future I have to invest in a better mic so that way I sound a lot crisper, a lot sharper. Yeah, so either way, back to the actual purpose of this video. So this is part 2 of King's guide on how to essentially confront King on his mix-ups or on his grabs or any other thing that you may be having trouble with when it comes to King. Okay, so one of the things that I have not showcased is some of his normals and what you should do against his normals when you confront them in your ranking or if you're quick play matches and so on. So one of the moves that you may see very often in King's gameplay is moves like, let's say, down forward 2-1. Now down forward 2-1, the first hit on normal hit does not guarantee the second follow-up. So you can easily block it, but in the same time you can also duck the second follow-up if you want to. So even if you get hit, you can still duck the second hit. The issue is that if you manage to try to attack King and he gets a counter hit off of this, then it guarantees the follow-up. Now if the follow-up is guaranteed, this gives him combos. Something like that. I don't know how to play King. If by chance that if you do duck the move, the best option that I can tell you to punish King, depending how fast you manage to duck his follow-up, is go for a wall standing 2-1. So if, let's say, you're playing Yoshimitsu, you can just do, for example, you can do his wall standing 2-1, which is this. If by any chance, let's say, if you don't think that it's going to hit because it's too slow, then just go for a wall standing 4. Better yet, if you do go for the wall standing 4, go for wall standing 4 and then hold back to go into your no sword stance. Now, if you do manage to block the move like I mentioned, it's -4, so it's safe. Meaning that if you try to attack King, he can just hold back and block your incoming move. Doesn't matter what you do next. Now, unless, for example, if you do maybe a low move or maybe a grab right after, whatever the case is, you may be able to still catch him off guard. Because even though he's safe on block, that doesn't mean that your turn is lost. You can still do something against the King. His other move too that's also quite important is his back 1-2. Back 1-2 is -13, so you can punish this move with a 13 frame punish. I said frame. That is your 13 frame punish. It's down forward 1-4. In the case of other moves that you may be having to be mindful of is his back 2-1, but you don't really see Kings use this often because of how unsafe it is. The move is essentially using back 2-1. Now back 2-1 is safe on block at -9, so he can still block the incoming move that you may use. But if you really want to punish it perfectly, the best way to punish it is by ducking it. And from there you have enough time to either go for a wall standing 2-1 for a launch, or go for a wall standing 4 if you think that you're not quick enough to pull that off. Now he has other moves too that are very quick and you gotta be mindful of, like, let's say down back 3. Down back 3 is -14, but since you're left crouching when blocking it, the best option you have is to either go for your wall standing 1 or your wall standing 4. If you don't know what your wall standing 1 is, it's basically this move. Since it's 14 frames on startup, you can use this move to retaliate with. You can also try using wall standing 1 into the follow-up, which was not the dick jab. This move, since if you do get the hit off, the follow-up is guaranteed, but not the third hit though, which is this move. That's not guaranteed. They will block that move. regardless if you get a counter hit off of it. Then you may also have to be wary of his down 3+4 move. Now, down 3+4 move does have a big weakness, and one thing for sure is that you can't follow up into other moves like, let's say, down 3+4 into the 2, so you gotta be careful about that. If you do block both hits, the last hit is -15, so you can launch King with a down forward 2 or a hop kick if you want to use a hop kick, which is basically his up forward 3. If he goes for all 3 of his kicks, still it's -15 on the last hit. If he only goes for the 3 kicks instead, it's -29, so he's super unsafe if you use this. But just be careful again, like I mentioned, that he may go for his punches. But if you do block it, then you're still gonna get yourself a free launch to hit the King. So Kings won't really spam this move against you if they're higher ranked. So if you're unsure how to handle it, let's say if you do get hit by the first hit, but not the second hit. Let's say the second hit is not really guaranteed unless it's on counter hit. As you see, the second move, the follow-up from the same move, is guaranteed, but not the follow-up third kick. Another thing is that if you do get the counter hit on the first hit, you are guaranteed the follow-up 2 punch that comes right after. So now I'm going to have King do the alley kicks on me, and if I do get hit on the first hit, the second hit can still be blocked, and then if he goes for the third hit, you can try parrying with a low parry to beat the move. As you saw. But if he tries going for, let's say, the punch right after, let's say if you don't parry any of the other moves that come right after, then you'll get hit. But that's if you don't block. If he does end up going for the punch right after, you can actually try sidestepping the move. The weird thing is that the only way you can beat it is if you're on player 2 side. Player 1 side, you can't actually sidestep this. But it's very difficult to pull off. Now, there are other methods you can beat King's move if you're playing Yoshimitsu, since I'm not trying to make this video solely on the fact that you can try punishing him with Yoshimitsu alone, just with regardless of which character you're playing with. You can also try, in this case, if you're using Yoshimitsu, doing other methods that can beat it. For example, you can use your flash, or you can go for hop kick. But that's on the consecutive other kicks that come right after though. And if you really want to be fancy about it, you can also try pairing the move with his Kensho stance on the last set of his move. One other move that you can be afraid of is his forward 1+2. Now forward 1+2 is 0 on block, so that means you're both put back in neutral. So if he wanted to, and let's say for example go for his 10 frame jab against you, and you used another move that was not 10 frames, then he will win that bout. But if you, let's say, decided to go for a full crouch down forward 4 with Yoshimitsu, you can then catch him off guard with that, or you can go for down back 3s to also beat King with those moves as well. That way you can duck the highs that he may throw right after. Though still be careful though if he might decide to go for one of his hop kicks and beat you with that. But if you block it, it's -13, so that you can actually beat it with your 13 frame punish. So the best means to beat this move, if you see it coming, because it is 16 frames on startup, so maybe you may not even see this move coming out. But the best way to beat it is by ducking it. Now, one big caveat to King is that at higher ranks, you'll see Kings using B-step, which is this move. It looks like he's trying to wave dash against you, but he can't really wave dash to B-step. I can't even do it because it's not possible. But one of the things that is so important with King when he uses the B-step is that he can try masking his other moves in between B-steps. So let's say he can try to do, for example, this move, which is B-step into full crouch 1+2. Or he can try going for, let's say, B-step into a wolf standing 1+2 to launch you. But what's worse is that he can try using B-step to mask his throws. For example, he can go into this, then step forward once, and decides to go for whatever grab that he wants to go for. So let's say if I imitate what a high ranked player would do with King to try to mask his throws. They'll do something like that. They'll go into Shining Wizard to try to catch you off guard. And what's even worse, they can try going for Giant Swing. Now, a faster King player would be able to mask that easily and make it look very quick to the point that you can't even tell what the King may do right after. So if it's going to be a Giant Swing or Shining Wizard, it doesn't even have to be those two moves. It can be other grabs as well. So the caveat is, if you're seeing a King do B-step, be prepared whether or not they're going to go for either a type of mix-up of either a mid-move to a launcher or into his grabs. If he does attempt to go for his grabs, you can just either try ducking them to see whether or not you can beat his B-step into his Shining Wizard or Giant Swing. Or if you're quick enough, which not many people are, not even I, you can try dick jabbing him out of the B-step before he tries to do something. Or if you're even quicker than that, then you can probably launch your opponent. Now you're probably wondering what to do against his Jaguar step, right? Which is basically this move, I believe. So once he enters into this stance, there are a plethora of different moves he can go for to try to catch you off guard. He has highs, he has mids, and he also has a grab that can go into this move, which is probably the move that a lot of people are getting hit out of. And he has homing moves and a low move that he can use against you. This is his mid. It's -8, so it's very safe. He can just block right after. It's the most common move that Kings will try to use against you to try to stay safe in most regards. You can't step this either if you try stepping it. Then his high move is +3 on block, so if you do block this move, he still has to turn. So if you want to be safe, the best option is to try to duck the move. But you can step this move. Then for his homing move will be his 3. This one you have to block regardless, and it's still safe. And then his low move will be his 4. Now this one is -21, and it leaves him grounded. So if you're quick enough, you can actually try using a Wolf Standing 4 to pick him right back up for a combo. So that's one way you can go for a combo option to beat King's Jaguar step into 4 if you block it. Then the worst move that you probably are the most afraid of is his Jaguar step into his grab. That also leads into his heat engager. The only way you can try beating that move is by ducking, but that's the easy way of saying it, since of course he has other ways he can go and try to catch you off guard, not just the grab. The grab is mostly going to be coming out from certain setups, like for example, if he launches you into a move, goes into whatever, blah blah blah, and decides to go for Jaguar step into the grab. Which is easier said than done to actually try to beat what the next incoming move will be. So the best method to beat King when he goes into Jaguar step is interrupting him when he enters in Jaguar step. So as you see, I made Yoshimitsu do back 1-1s when King is in his default state, and by that I mean not in heat state. If he goes into Jaguar step, he's very vulnerable to getting hit. It's why you don't really see Kings using this outright in a fight. They'll use it when he's in his heat state. And that's what's scary about King. So if that were to happen and he tries going into Jaguar step while in heat state, the best means to beat this move is by trying to grab him. There's no other way to beat it, at least not that I know of. Ah yes, you can beat it by using lows. Now I just remembered. So if he goes into heat state and he decides to go for Jaguar step, you can beat it with lows. Since technically he's going into a power crush type state where armored up, going for a low would beat this move. But I would highly advise to go for grabs instead, so that way you can get a massive boost of power, or in this case damage, against King. Especially if you have a very strong command throw in your character's list to use against King, since they can't break it since it's considered to be a counter hit grab. Another type of move that he has in his kit as well that kind of armors up as well is his muscle armor. Now muscle armor only has like one move that I think of, which is muscle armor into 2. But that's a heat engage. And it's -9 on block if you do end up blocking the move. I believe there's also a chance you can sidestep the move, but you have to... Let me actually check. Yes, you can sidestep this move. Better yet, you can probably sidewalk it easily instead of trying to go for a sidestep just in case if you mess up. Now, he could also go into Jaguar step if he goes into muscle armor. So for example, muscle armor into Jaguar step, he can also do that too. But he still doesn't gain the properties of muscle armor, which is the armored property. So even if he does go for Jaguar step from this move, he doesn't gain the armor properties of it. So if you try to use that against you, you can still beat him with whatever move you want to use right after. It doesn't have to be a grab or a low attack. Now into his armored moves that I know of that are usually the type of moves that King tends to spam when he can, and that is back 3. Back 3 is -10 on block, so you can still punish him with a 10 frame punish. His 10 frame punish is basically this one. This move on its own is very scary on the fact that it's also one of his moves that goes into his hit grabs. So getting caught by this move is a very big no-no. So you don't want to get hit by this move. But it is very linear, so you can sidestep it. As you see. Though be careful if you do get hit by any of his jabs or any moves that put you on negative, or in this case him being on positive, that he can still hit you out of trying to sidestep. But depending on how plus he is, you can still get away with sidestepping his back 3. So in back 1's case, it's +3 on hit. So you can still try to sidestep the move. The other move too that you have to be wary of is his up forward 3+4. This is -12 on block, so you can punish it with a 12 frame move. Yoshimitsu's 12 frame move looks like this. That's his 12 frame move. But I would advise not using that one since it doesn't really give you much damage. So instead use your 11 frame punish move against King's up forward 3+4 armored move. If you do get hit by this move, it's going to lead into his Jaguar step, so you got to be careful. It's also quite steppable as well since it's very linear, as you see. Then he can get away with it. On the case though, if he were to use, let's say, a move that puts him in +3, like the back 1, then you can get away with it if you do get hit by whatever move comes next. Now for the biggest move that you probably have the most infuriating moments when playing against Kings is his Heat Smash. Now his Heat Smash, I gotta say, even though people really hate the Heat Smash, it has a big weakness. But even though it has a big weakness, Kings can just circumvent this by easily realigning themselves against you so that they can then hit you right after. So the biggest weakness is that this move is weak to sidesteps. So I'm going to attempt to sidestep the move. So I sidestep the move to my left. Let's see if I can try sidestepping it to my right. You can also sidestep it to your right, though a little stronger to the right side than it is to the left side. So you're better off just sidestepping to his left, or should I say to your left, to beating the Heat Smash. Easier said than done. The King can just simply realign himself by stepping in and then using the Heat Smash. So you gotta be careful against King players once they're in heat, but I will say most people will try to be as careful as possible against a King player that's in heat and using his Heat Smash whenever he can. So yeah, all I can say is that hopefully you can sidestep the move if it comes out and win the match, if anything. Alright, so I think that's it. I'm not too sure if I'm going to end it here on this 2-part series of King's Guide on how to beat his moves. So if there's anything that I have missed that you want me to illustrate in another video, I'll do so. And if not, then yeah, I guess You know, use this as your guide to helping you out against King. So if you liked the video, give it a like please, it helps me a ton. Subscribe if you want to see more of my stuff, and stay tuned.